Welcome back to Rearview Diaries. I'm Paul, your driver, your host, and your fellow traveler through these stories. One of the things I learned after thousands of rides is that something interesting happens inside a car. Two complete strangers climb in together, expecting nothing more than a trip from point A to point B. But somewhere between the first hello and the final have a great day, walls come down. Maybe it's because we'll probably never see each other again. Maybe it's because a car feels like a neutral ground. Whatever the reason, people tell me stories they might never tell anyone else. Sometimes I'm just a driver. Sometimes I'm a bartender on wheels. And sometimes I'm simply a witness to someone's life. Today's story is about one of those passengers, a young man who reminded me that wisdom doesn't always come with age. This is 16 going on 36. It was late one evening when I accepted a ride from a fast food restaurant. A young man climbed into the back seat. The moment I looked in the rearview mirror, I could tell he was a teenager. Now I should probably admit something. I normally don't pick up minors. They're a liability issue, and over the years, I had few rides with high school kids that weren't exactly memorable. Loud, disrespectful, always trying to impress their friends. But this young man, he was different. He climbed into the car with a smile, greeted me respectfully, buckled his seatbelt, and thanked me before I even started driving. That immediately caught my attention. As we pulled away, I asked him, "So how's work treating you?" He smiled and said he's been working there for about a year and had become one of their most dependable employees. Then he casually added, "Oh, this is actually my third job." I looked at him in the mirror. "Wait, your third job?" "Yes, sir." I laughed. "You're working 3 jobs." "Yes, sir." "How many hours is that?" "About 50 a week." And I paused. "You're still in school?" He nodded. "I'm 16. I don't know why, but hearing those words completely changed the way I looked at him. 16 years old, working nearly 50 hours a week, 7 days a week. Most adults struggle to keep one full-time job. This kid was juggling 3. In school. And I finally asked him, "So why are you working this hard?" His answer was immediate. "I'm saving for a car." Okay, that made sense. But then he continued, "I don't just want enough money to buy it. I want enough money saved to pay gas, insurance, maintenance, at least 6 months ahead." Then he smiled and said something I'll never forget. "Planning ahead is the key to success." I almost laughed, not because it was funny, because I couldn't believe those words were coming from a 16-year-old. He sounded like someone who's already lived 3 decades. We kept talking. He told me one of the perks of working at a fast food restaurant was getting 50% off meals. So I joked, "So basically you're living off of burgers and fries." He laughed, "Unfortunately. I pretty much eat what I serve." But what impressed me wasn't his schedule. It wasn't the 3 jobs. It wasn't even the long hours. It was his attitude. No complaining, no blaming anyone, no self-pity, just a quiet determination. Then I asked about college. He told me he'd love to go, but financially it probably wasn't realistic. Instead, he planned to join the military, use the GI Bill, learn technical skills, build a career, earn his education. Everything he said sounded carefully thought out. Every answer had purpose. I couldn't help thinking, when I was 16, I was worried about homework, hanging out with friends. This kid was building a blueprint for his future. Then he told me something that really hit me. Every day after school, He walked nearly 15 minutes to his job. Rain, heat, cold, didn't matter. Sometimes a family member could give him a ride. Most of the time he walked. The ride I was giving him that night was unusual. He only ordered one because he had been visiting his mother who lived far away. Eventually we reached his destination. Before getting out, he thanked me, not just for the ride, but for the conversation. I smiled and said, "When you get home, tell your mother she raised an incredible young man." He smiled one last time. I watched him in the rearview mirror as he walked toward the house. And I remember thinking, this kid isn't 16. He's 16 going on 36. His work ethic, his discipline, his maturity, his ability to sacrifice today for better tomorrow, those aren't qualities you usually find at 16. They're qualities you hope to develop over a lifetime. I drove away. I find myself rooting for him. I could picture him leading people, starting a business, serving his country, maybe changing lives. He had something you can't teach, character. And I'll tell you something. If Rearview Diaries ever becomes everything I hope it becomes, he might be the only second person in my life I would ever buy a car for. That's how much he inspired me. Because every once in a while, someone gets into your back seat, and instead of you changing their life, they change yours. Thank you for riding along with me. This has been 16 going on 36. I'm Paul, and this is Rearview Diaries. Until next time, keep looking forward, but don't forget to glance in the rear view. If you like my stories, please subscribe and share with your friend, and make sure you like it. Thank you.